We're obsessed with the Connie Pheiff Show. It's about a lifestyle shift to move up or out.
Hey, what's your jam? What's the one thing that really drives you? What makes you unstoppable?
It's about opening a new door to live your dream.
People give up way too early on their dreams.
It's about enjoying the journey. It's about keeping it real.
Damn, now the interviewee is interviewing the interviewer. I like this.
It's all about you.
I knew there was something else I wanted to do. Stop taking shit so seriously. Y'all can do this. Take an outrageous look at life and laugh.
This is the Connie Pheiff Show.
We love your voice. We love your jam. You need to be on radio.
And now your host, Connie Pheiff.
Well, hello. You're listening to the Connie Pheiff Show, and I'm Connie Pheiff, your unstoppable diva. Now, remember, you want to share our shows. You want to share every show that you are checking out because we have some amazing, amazing giveaways. Just picked up a few more things. People call me. They're like, hey, I want to give this away. I want to give this away. So we are doing it. We give things. We have T-shirts. We have music. We have bags that say really funky things on it, to keep you going, to keep you motivated. And even today, our guest is giving away to the first 5 listeners, to the first 5 people that tag and share our show. He's going to give you a $0 for $0, 60 minutes of a coaching session. 60 minutes. You don't have to be in person. You don't have to meet up for that cup of coffee. It's going to be virtual on Zoom, and he is going to give you that free coaching call. And you're going to find out more about what that coaching is going to be about in just a minute. But make sure that you're sharing. Keep commenting. Share. We want to get our show out. We want to get it out to everyone. So why the heck are you here? Why are you listening to the Connie Pheiff Show? Because you need us. We're a business radio show with an edge. We give it all to you. It's unscripted. It is unedited. We talk about how you can move up whatever it is that you're doing in your career or get out. That's really our sweet spot. We're going to help you get out, live your dream, find that business that you've only been dreaming about and just do it. So we're all about keeping the passion of life activated for the world's most daring minds. So get ready, get set, because today's show is all about purpose, desire, intent, because it is time to redefine success. Our guest today is the rEDefine speaker, coach, relationship builder, Evans, am I saying you right now? Evans Duren.
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
All right. Well, Evans Duren.
I get a lot of Durans. Duren. I mean, Evans Duren. You nailed it, Connie.
Yeah, let's say Duren.
That's right.
And I've been saying it all morning because we almost talked twice today.
That's right. We're good.
So Evans Duren, and you are the redefine guy. You talk about redefining relationship building, but it's, again, redefining that success. And that's what we're all about. We want to talk about that today, how people can redefine what their success looks like for them. So for you, your definition of redefine success, in people's lives, and I know you're just coming off a weekend of your program, of your event, and
yes, ma'am.
So just share more about that. Share more about what is that definition about redefining our success.
Yeah, no, Connie, that's awesome. And first of all, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this since we scheduled about 2 months ago. So excited to talk with you. Love the energy. Love the show. And you're right. We just came off of a long 3-day. I say long 3 days because when you start in the morning and go late in the night and 21 sessions of content, they become long days.
Yeah. But, you start dancing by the end of the day. You're like, okay, we're going to get there.
We're getting close. Everybody getting excited.
Right.
So no, just came back from, I live outside of Columbia, South Carolina, and I had us in a beachfront house on the ocean in Isle of Palms, just outside of Charleston. And we define these retreats to say, hey, look, there's a lot of conferences and retreats where you get taken to a hotel in a really beautiful city. Right. But you stay inside the walls of the hotel, right? You get the black linen tablecloth, a lot of PowerPoint, people speaking to you or at you.
True.
And I said, we want to do something different. So we put 7 of us underneath one roof for 3 nights and made it more of a closed setting. where we brought leaders from different parts of, I've got an international company that had one of their leaders there, like a North American leader, a top sales rep for an international company, another gentleman who was a professional speaker. And, you know, we brought all these guys together and said, look, we as leaders need a place to be led, right? There's so many things, definitions, standards, and expectations that are placed on us. How do we really start to shed those things that everybody else is telling us is success for our lives, and really looking at an alignment going, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's what success looks like for me in my life, across my life at home, on my team, in my organization, in my community. What am I doing for my family and my loved ones? You look at your personal life, your career, relationships, and service. We have this tendency to live in isolated buckets. So what we came to, and I'd love to dive deeper kind of behind the scenes how we got there, but it's really about, if it's not in alignment with what I truly believe as a unique creation in this world, as a unique individual, then why am I living out expectations and definitions other people have placed on me? And I want to be very careful to say this up front, kind of before we dive deep. It's not the idea or concept of, well, if I'm shooting at a target on the side of the barn, I'll just shoot first and then draw a circle around it and say, yeah, I hit the target. That's not redefining success, right? That's manipulation, and that's not it at all.
Right.
What this is saying, okay, it's more than just a business transaction, right? I've been in the marketplace for 14 years, Fortune 15 sales, as well as tech startups. Been a top producer. I've stood on stage in front of 500 peers. Led the company in revenues and margins. And it's something that was very intoxicating as a young man, right? It felt very great in those mountaintop moments.
Right.
I lived for those, right? I wanted those again and again and again. But my value and worth became associated with my production. And we had some bumps in the road a few years ago. And as those things hit, it was just a complete, what in the world am I doing kind of moment, right? You hit the mountaintop and then you're in the valley as low as you can go. And you're like, holy crap, something's out of whack. I'm
going to say, I can't speak for everyone listening because we have a couple million people listening, but I think we've all hit that wall.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing that I've found. Regardless of who we are, where we are around the globe, we talk with people all over the world here. And regardless of where you are or what you do day to day, we're all searching for the similar things, right? I mean, there's things that are unique to us that only we want a certain way. On a macro level, it's hysterical how tied together we all truly are, if you really think about it.
We are. And every successful person that you talk to will say that they hit that wall and it was, okay, what just happened? I was like you said, I was at the mountaintop and all of a sudden I'm like down there. Like what just what just happened? So I love your analogy though about throwing the dart and then drawing the circle and say, there's my success.
That's success. Look how great I am. I'm perfect. I hit it right in the middle, right? And that's the thing. We can't do that.
No. It's like, no, we can't do that. We really have to say what we're doing. But we redefine ourselves. And I'll be honest, I'm in business working with people who want to redefine themselves. They've found that success and now they're saying, okay, but am I truly living the life that I should be living and want to be living? And that's for my family, for me, and then it's the business versus the other way around.
And I think you hit something there that's so important is when we look at it, I love the questions we ask ourselves. What do we want to do? Why do we want to do it? How are we going to do it? Right. I've really gotten back to this core of what are we supposed to do? As the only person on this planet who is me, what am I supposed to do?
What am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing?
And I said recently, I told someone else and I said, I think it was Lisa McDonald, who you and I both know well. I said, it's funny. We're on this journey and there's all these things that we do and we have we have a purpose, I believe.
Right.
But we find these small purposes along the way too, right? We all search for this mountaintop moment. But what's funny is we have some small hills that we climb and bring others with us too that are just as equally important. So that question is, it's not always what I want to do or what I feel like doing, but maybe it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. What am I supposed to be doing? I know for me, I had to do that really deep soul searching a couple of years ago myself. And for me, it was caused by the passing of my mom, which is going to be 3 years this week. And I'm already thinking about it. Oh my God, it's like mom's gone 3 years. Mom's gone 3 years. And funny things have been happening around me the last couple of days. And I keep saying, Mom's here. She's like, hit me in the head. But it was really that revelation that for me, I had to take a step back because, again, I was at that mountaintop. I was out and I was doing it and I was rocking it. But it was just like, oh, okay, we need to step back and really, what is that purpose that I'm here from? What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah, and for Connie, that's I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, that's something that's personal and dear to you. Especially coming up on the anniversary, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was a couple of years ago. I'd come from a Fortune 15 background. I grew up in a house where I had a fantastic childhood, but we were not silver spoon people, right? We worked hard, and my father owns his own company. My mother works full time. I'm the oldest of 4 sons, so there's this idea instilled of you work hard and you produce and you help out where you need to,
right?
And
I'm the oldest of 4 too, by the way. So.
Right, yeah. We have so many commonality. I know last time we talked, there's all these things, and I was like, this is going to be fantastic. So, but it was crazy.
It's only a half-hour show.
Being a Fortune 15 rep, winning some awards, being the National Rookie of the Year, standing on stage was a very, like I said, the word earlier I used, intoxicating moment as a young man at 22, 23.
Right.
And then moving into Fortune 15 into tech startups and having very similar success. And I got rocked by a lawsuit a few years ago where a company, we had a disagreement on some documentation, just, things that happen when you leave a company, put it that way, right?
Right.
Just, certain non-compete, non-solicitation stuff. So went through this whole process and it broke my spirit completely. And it was difficult until my wife looked at me. She goes, well, did you do anything wrong? And I said, no. She's like, get up and go do what you do so well.
Right.
The problem was as soon as it was over, Connie, I put those blinders back on. And I went so hard that my health went out the window. My ideas around balance went out the window and all these things. And I've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they're amazing. I've been married for 13 years. And October of that year, my uncle had a stroke. November that year, my grandmother died. And then last February, I'm in the doctor's office, blood pressure 160 over 100.
Wow.
And overweight. The doctor's like, oh, time out. You got to take a minute, son.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of those walls I hit. And I said, okay, wait a minute. If I'm running so hard to put money back in the bank, regain my client base and go work with those people that I've gotten to know for the last 8 years, but I'm killing myself in the process, there's a problem here. Right. And that's when all this started to click. And I'm like, I got to do something different. So it's been a heck of a journey and it's been an absolute blast, but my success had to change because it was no longer about the production.
Yeah, I mean, something jolted you. I had no lawsuit or anything, but I had a trademark issue. I had a program. Just put tons and tons of money into this and building it up. And, we checked the trademarks, had the attorney check the trademarks, and turns out that there was a group that used that since like 1982. I mean, number of years.
Right.
They never follow. What wasn't that they never followed through with their trademark? It was how they filed it. So that's why we never found it.
Gotcha.
So then when we took it to number 1, and of course, it started popping up and they started noticing that, I got the notice, cease and desist using this, or they would have filed a lawsuit. That crushed me.
Yeah.
It just crushed me. And it was about the same time that, I had taken a break to care of a mom before she passed. It just crushed me that happened. And like you said, then for me, it wasn't coming back and like diving in deep. I'm done. It was just like.
Well, and mine came from a place of bitterness and anger at the time, right?
That came later.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I fast forward now a couple of years, and what was bitter and anger has turned into, hey, it's nothing I'd ever wish against anybody. Like the fact that you went through that issue, you don't want to wish people to go through it,
and they don't.
But what's crazy is on the other end of it, you find some things and you find those silver linings. And you go, I am so much better as a salesman today than I've ever been. Because it forced me to rethink things, right?
Right.
I'm a better coach. I'm a better husband, better father, better business owner. We're leading retreats and we're showing folks how to redefine. Like this may not have happened to this degree had it not been for that. True. So it's learning to let it go, right? And that was difficult. It's painful. It was painful.
It's very painful. So, and again, for me, it was just last summer. July and August, I let go of the team. It was like, you're all fired. July and August, I just like, okay, I have to sit with this. I just have to, figure out like, why did this happen? Where am I going next?
Right.
And we came back and it was just amazing. I was getting notes and calls from people. Where are you? What happened? What's going on? We need you. And it helped me, again, define my purpose even deeper, that, I do have something that people need, and I need to get back on the horse, as they say. And
yeah. One thing that really came out of our retreat this past week is someone said, Evans, as we look at people who do things, it was the slogan of the weekend was, anyone can be ordinary, dare to be extraordinary. That was our theme, right?
And I see your post behind you.
Yeah. So, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so how do we continue to bring out that extraordinary life we were asked to live? And what's crazy is people who do things in an exceptional manner often don't realize it's exceptional because it's their normal, right?
True. Right.
And so we talked about that this weekend, about drawing out and understanding how exceptional each of us are,
right?
To better pull it out. So you never do it by yourself, right? So folks to come to you and affirm it, that's so powerful. So powerful.
It really was. It was really those conversations. I was getting personal note cards, and and I kept them all. And just hearing that and knowing, and like I said, it just reconfirmed my conviction, which is helping other people achieve and realize their success and go after it. But you made a really interesting point that we have a very extraordinary part of us that people need from us, but we take it for granted because it is our normal. And like I said, people are running to people, or my husband, he came home the other day and he's like, he goes, because he's got a new company now, and one of the people that work for him came up to him and they said, I found your wife online. She's a radio host. Oh my God, she's an author. She's a speaker. And she's a celebrity. And he comes home, and of course I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how it works. And it's great too, that when we get with those other people, that we pull out their gifts, talents, and skills and strengths.
Right.
Because, this past weekend, one of the funniest moments was we did an exercise around being extraordinary, right? And like drawing out, and it was look to the person to your left and right and talk about why you find them to be extraordinary. And it was funny. One gentleman said, Evans, you have an ability to go really deep, really fast in relationships, but you really suck at logistics. So,
okay.
Yeah. So the detail work is not, I don't love that piece, right?
Yeah. I don't detail what person either.
My wife has a company called Simplify Home Organization, and it is literally that. She does home organization.
Okay.
And if you look in my back seat, I mean, it's like my mother-in-law told me one time, you could lose a child back there. So it's just, anyway. So surrounding yourself with the right people.
And that is it. Surrounding yourself with the right people. That is absolutely it. Let's take a really quick break. And when we come back, I would like you to share more with our listeners about your coaching program.
Sounds good.
All right. Hang in there. We'll be right back. The Connie Pheiff Show is heard everywhere. You can find The Connie Pheiff Show on most of your favorite networks. It's time to now recognize and thank our major networks for all of their support. In the house, we have Conscious Business Radio, C-Suite Radio, Transformation Radio, iHeartRadio. We are also heard on Google Play, Apple, Radio, Stitcher, and so many more that I just can't keep up with them all. I'm Connie Pheiff, your unstoppable diva. Learn more about our gym and how we can work together at my fancy schwanky website, ConniePheiffShow.com. I'll see you over there. Until then, like, share. Now back to the show. Well, okay, then we are back, and you are listening to The Connie Pheiff Show, and I'm Connie Pheiff, and our unstoppable guest today is Evans Duren. He is the rEDefine speaker, coach, and relationship builder. So, Evans, before the break, you were talking about some different programs that you do, and we said that our listeners, you're going to give away some of your coaching programs. So, what exactly is it that you're going to be offering within your coaching program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a couple different things. One, we love to do these retreats, right? Where we take individuals who say, you know what, I don't know if I want to sign up for long-term coaching day one, but I would love to go somewhere to be fed and led, right? Where I'm leading other people day in and day out. Sometimes we find folks say, hey, I'm chained to a desk. I got to get away and I need to get out of my own surroundings to find a spot where I have someone else worrying about what we're going to eat, what we're going to do, how we're going to get there, what the content is. Like, just let me be there and be present. And if I'm available, everything falls into place. So we got more retreats.
Now, is this for men and women?
This last one was a men's only because we were under one roof. Okay. But we're getting we have a lot of women who are asking, can we be a part two going forward? And we said, absolutely. It's just in the logistics of making sure we didn't want to put men and women under one roof.
Got it.
Overnight.
Got it.
So, but then outside the retreats, the one-to-one coaching, I actually work with men and women, right? That's either way is great. What I look for with my clients is I'm looking for folks who are business leaders, right? Entrepreneurs, and folks who are leaders even outside of the marketplace. I've been a marketplace guy for a long time. That's where my heart is, right? Marketplace ministry. But I've also got folks who are leaders in their homes, leaders in their communities, and their organizations.
Right.
But once again, we're all, regardless of title and position, we're folks who have definition, standards, and expectations placed on us by the world around us, right?
Sure. Right.
So there's folks who say, hey, I'm a leader in XYZ phase of my life, but I'm not really so sure it aligns with what I truly believe and who I really am. So in those programs run anywhere from 1 month to 6 months, depending on the way we want to position it.
Okay.
And I've got some core programs that I walk people through, and we do a lot of custom builds as well, because it's not one size fits all, right?
Right.
We're all unique individuals.
That's true, right.
And then the third component really is working with teams and organizations, right? So if it's a performance team, like a sales team, for instance, how do we continue in the marketplace is full of products and solutions that overlap. The ability to say, there was a point in time where we could come to the marketplace and say, I'm the only person who sells this. So this is the best widget, and it's the only widget that does what it does.
Right.
This new Amazon era, right? Our clients and prospective clients push a button and have things drop shipped to their house, and they expect their businesses to run that way. So in a crowded market that's flooded with salesmen and saleswomen, how do we differentiate and continue to perform? But beyond the transaction, if we're only in it for the dollar in the transaction, then we're going to miss to the next person who genuinely cares and wants to build that relationship, right?
Yeah, I'm so thrilled to hear you say that. I actually have a client that I'm working with our agency, our talent concierge agency, and he's like, "Just book me for anything. Book me for anything." I'm like, no.
Right.
I'm like, let's chase your mission and stop chasing the dollar.
I'll never forget being a 21-year-old young man walking into a Fortune 15 company, and I'd gone to the Goodwill. I was a poor college student. I went to the Goodwill in my local town, bought a pair of pants, had some hand-me-down shoes and a hand-me-down shirt. And I walked in to see a manager for the Carolinas in Georgia, and he was probably 45 years my senior.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to try to impress him, right, Connie? I'm thinking all these questions I'm going to ask and all the stuff I learned in my business classes, which were important, don't get me wrong. But I looked at him and said, what is our competitive advantage? He goes, you are. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, Evans, we're all selling the same products at the end of the day. We have the same part numbers. My SKU for manufacturer A, if you sell it as a competitor, we have the same part number.
That's right.
So the sooner you realize that it's not about the widget, but it's about the challenge and the drivers behind why they need it and that desired outcome, Connie, it's a game changer. So that's what I want to work with people to do, right? That's my heart. How do we make a better impact in the marketplace and do it by walking alongside other people who are already there?
Wow. Well, you have a fan right here. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You definitely have a fan right here. Whenever you want to do that men's program, then give me a holler. I'll help you. I'll put that
100%.
Definitely. So I want to go back to sales because that's always just such an area that people struggle with. Like you said, you have Amazon, and then of course you have social media. And I mean, for me, and again, you can tell me if I'm wrong. And I always, say to people, social media you're not there to sell. You're there.
I love that you said that. I'm finally finding someone who says it and agrees with me. This is great.
It is not a selling platform. It's, be present, be out there. I've actually pulled back from my social. I'm focusing on LinkedIn for the agency, and I focus on Instagram for the show. I really, on Facebook, I get to see my niece's babies, you know?
Right. Well, it's funny, Connie, like so I'm doing quite a bit on LinkedIn, for instance. I really went all in on LinkedIn last year. I think I spoke with 70 people around the world last year through LinkedIn connections, which was new to me. I'd never done. I'm like, why would I pick up the phone and call someone in another country or jump on a Zoom call? Well, technology makes it possible. Take your conversations offline. That makes
it possible. Right.
Yeah. Take the conversation offline.
Right.
And people get upset, and there's a great debate that happens out on social media, right? So there are folks that say, well, LinkedIn's here. We're here to do business. And I say, well, maybe we are going to do business, but the reality is you cannot separate, well, here's my personal life and here's my business, and they don't have any overlap. And I think that's where we miss. They absolutely are intertwined. You can't.
Because they use the back in the day, as they say, it's, you leave work at the door and nothing comes in. You have to split it. You can't. There is, you're one person. There is no separation.
Exactly.
There is no
Quit living isolated buckets, right?
Right. And then if you're an entrepreneur, it all entwines itself. You have to find a point where you have to split it. You definitely have to split it. You have to have that downtime, that personal time. But there is there's no more 9 to 5.
No, and it's funny. So I'm the guy who would work. I would work hours and hours longer than I do. If it weren't for having a chance to, my wife will look at me and go, hey, we need to put it down. Or I'll see the boys running on. And so a thing goes off in my mind. I'm like, all right, for a year back in 16 and 17, there's a stretch for about 12 months. I wasn't fully present because my mind was preoccupied.
Right.
And I don't want to go back to that. Right. Kids are growing up quick. It's flying by. But it's also amazing the relationships you make on a personal level in the marketplace that have nothing to do with the transaction.
Exactly. And they become your biggest fans.
100%.
And they're the ones out there. They're your cheerleader. But I'll laugh. Like yesterday, for example, I have one of the clients. She still works a 9 to 5. So the only time she can really get to me is on weekends or at nighttime. So I've given her permission to text me. Or if she has a question, text me first, especially during those times. So she did yesterday, and I'm texting her back. And, my husband's like, are we, I think we're on our way to the farmer's market or something. And he's like, are you ready? I'm like, I'm working here.
I love it. Well, and here's the other thing too, right? We were told that our passions and dreams are just passions and dreams, and they're not real things that we can achieve and accomplish. There's a gentleman, I am drawing a blank on his name right now. It'll come to me in a second. But he was writing a book, and he's a professor by trade. And he says, as we grow up, and he equated it to Narnia, right? We are these young children who go into the wardrobe of imagination.
Right.
The older we get, the world says, we're taking this out. You can no longer go in and have a good life and fun, right? It's like no more imagination. This adulthood idea comes in. And it stifles it, right? Yeah. And I know at 35 years old, I lived that for a while. And my hope is that we can help people walk out of that quicker. I wanted to get people moved away from that mentality as fast as possible to live their lives fully alive as designed.
Right. And you're right. We grow up, it's almost, by design, we go off to college and, and you're told that you have to do this, or XYZ, or like me and my family, though, I'm the first and only person in my family at my age level, all my siblings, I have a lot of them, that went to college.
Okay, great.
But it was, for me, it was that personal drive. I was like, I have to get that education. I have to get that education. Because I actually lived with my grandmother, and she wanted me to quit school when I was turning 16.
Okay.
And I was like, no. So education became very, very important to me, to where I felt like, the only way I was going to do well, I had to be groomed. I had to get that education. And I did. And I struggled. And before I even finished my master's degree, I decided, you know what? I'm going to start my own business now.
Well, and it's funny. And people ask me, Evans, are you still carrying a bag? And right now, I still work in the marketplace today as well, right? I've got an organization that says, Evans, we want you to chase and pursue your dreams. Finally found a company who says, hey, you can have the best of both worlds. Do that.
And that's awesome. Right? Yes.
And it's great. They didn't force me to go one way or the other. They embraced it. And what's insane is everything has increased and multiplied because of that, right?
Because of that.
Yeah. And we're helping people through the marketplace, but we're also helping these other leaders that say, hey, we just need some help changing some mindset and changing some approach. So it's a great time, Connie.
That is great. That is really fantastic. I mean, and me, it was kind of a backdoor approach to doing it because I was still CEO of Girl Scouts back in Pennsylvania, Penns Woods Council. And when they did their merger, I had reapplied for other council positions, but I wasn't getting anything. And then they were saying, well, because you didn't finish your degree yet. And I'm like, I'm working on it. They actually wanted somebody initially with a PhD, but then they switched it to a master. So I had my master's now, so I guess I would qualify.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm really liking this, having my own business thing. I really, really like it.
Yeah.
So let's just jump forward because I know we're really running out of time. So a couple questions we ask all of our guests. So the first one, to finish this sentence for me, Evans, I am unstoppable because
I'm still alive. That's it, because I'm still alive.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we have to get to the end of the race. And we talked about this at the retreat this past weekend. I said, at the end of my life, I hope I get to sit down and I'm fully exhausted. Right. So until then, keep running, keep moving. Do not stop.
Well, one of the things I do ask people is, will you ever be satisfied? And I mean, you really just answer that. Keep moving. I mean, just keep pushing.
And I think there's this, and that's that whole shift too, right? There was a point where I thought, the only way to be satisfied is to achieve something.
Right.
And I have a quote right here on my desk where I told someone once, I used to feel that I had to do something significant in order to be significant. I had to have these mountaintop moments, and that was the only way I'd be important to anyone or valuable. And now it's like, you know what? You need to keep moving. Be happy. There's good things about contentment, but why stop? Why not keep pushing forward? Push the envelope a little further, right? There's people that need that from you. And quite frankly, if you're able to, you have a responsibility to do so. Right.
It is your responsibility to do so. So you've had many opportunities come your way. So what is your process for evaluating the different opportunities so you don't have that crash again?
Yeah. You know what? For me, it's starting to ask those hard questions up front. Okay. I think in sales, let's go back to sales for a minute if we can. Okay. Early in a sales career, you take any appointment you can to have a conversation because you that's how you make a living. That's how you produce. It's a shotgun approach. It's like, I'm raising my hand saying, I'm here. Anybody want to talk?
Yeah. And you're like, okay, you want to buy something? Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Right. But over time, as things have changed and you have these instances in life and these experiences,
right.
I've got to a point where we just had this happen recently. Someone asked us to come in and bid on a project. And I just very pointedly said, are you just doing this because you need another person to respond, or do I actually have a chance? Because my time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Let's be honest and upfront.
Good question.
Yeah. So asking hard questions up front and really understanding the ask and not making assumptions out the gate.
That's a really good one, because you're right. Too often we're like, yeah, we'll just do it. We have business. But the one thing for me, even with what had transpired, asking those questions, really coming to clarity and being very clear on what my fees are and not backing down. Because before, let's negotiate, but you don't want to do that.
There are over 7 billion people on this planet. So it's I think too, in business, we have this idea that, especially folks who are new in their careers and positions, it's like, if I get this opportunity, they try to squeeze the life out of it and hold on to it for dear life, right? Well, what happens? You choke the oxygen out of it and it disappears and dies, or either you have these opportunity costs from not continuing to prospect and meet new people.
That's and getting the good people, because and I've had it that those people strangulate you.
Yeah.
The ones that really, really, really take you down to like the lowest price possible. Then they're strangulating you for your time, for those resources, and you're thinking, you're not paying for this, but that's what you agreed to. Yeah. So,
and be willing to do it for something other than the money too, right? There's a lot of people will take up time, energy, and effort that could be spent other places, and it may cost you dollars.
Right. And it will cost you dollars.
There's a peace of mind and an ability to breathe that's invaluable.
Exactly. And hold on to that. So, and again, you touched on this a little bit too, but I mean, so basically, when you are dirt, what do you want people to say about you?
That's a fantastic question. And it's something that I've really had to get clarity on because people talk about legacy and leaving behind. And did you do what you were supposed to do? Did you live your life fully alive? I hope when it's all said and done and I'm in the dirt, it is the people that he met, he impacted. And those that he didn't meet, he still impacted. Right. That's what I hope is said. He loved God. He loved his family. He impacted others.
And what message do you want to leave behind for people?
You get one chance, live fully alive, right? I think we live in a comparison society where we look at one another and start to say, well, I'm not this or I'm not that. And that's good. I speak, I coach, I write, I lead retreats. Am I Tony Robbins? No, but I am who I am. I am Evans Duren, and I have the ability to use my platform to still impact people, right? So move past the comparison, live fully alive, and really take hold of the fact that you are extraordinary and you are successful and you are unique.
Beautiful. Beautiful. My husband actually asked me that question this past week, and I don't know what we were talking about. We got into a deep conversation, and he said that. He said, what do you want people to remember about you? What wisdom do you want to leave behind? And I said, I want people to slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Just slow down.
You said it so much more succinctly than I did. That was beautiful, Connie. 2 words, slow down. Beautiful.
Slow down. So I said, keep it short. I said, slow down. That's what he said. He said, what do you want on your tombstone? I don't know what we were harassing about, but I just said, slow down. That was it. So what's next? I mean, so what is next for Evans Duren? Where do you go from here?
Yeah. So right now what we're doing is we're talking to some organizations. I'm continuing to look for speaking opportunities to share this redefine message, right?
Okay.
To work with more and more folks around what it means to be a successful performer in the marketplace. And we've got some events. We're looking at one in San Diego in July. So we're putting that together with a benefit right now, like a healthcare related benefit for cancer. We're working on some more retreats. We've got 2 others we're working on right now for the summer and then October, both on the East Coast. And another one for a men's marketplace retreat out on the Midwest. So we're excited. We've got a lot going on, a lot of planning stage right now. But for me, it's continuing to enjoy the time with my kids and my wife. We're actually getting ready to take a trip up to New York for our anniversary. I cannot wait. I'm going to go see Billy Joel at Madison Square. And just continue living, right? That's the name. Continue living life. So let me know when you're in San Diego, so I'll pop down to see you there. I could definitely do that. And then when I get back to Tennessee, I'm so excited. We could talk more about that, and again, whatever else you have going on in that parts of the woods. So, and again, in San Diego, or any of them, let me know the information and I'll get it out. I'll push it out for you. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, Evans, I want to thank you for being here today. So why don't you let our listeners know where they can find you?
Yeah, so evansduren.com, EVANSDUREN.com. There's a giant contact me button right there. I love speaking with people. And it doesn't have to be a paid engagement to talk and have a conversation. I'm a big fan of taking conversations offline, hearing people's stories. It's inspiring. And it's really how we connect and share, right? And take it with us. LinkedIn, Evans Duren on LinkedIn, and also Instagram. It's my name, no spaces. I put up content there from our retreat here the last couple of days, and we'll continue to do that. And other things that inspire me in day-to-day living. So those are the places to reach out.
Just listening to your voice and your name, I feel like I'm stepping into a country song.
You're the second person in 2 weeks. I love that.
Oh, really?
Somebody said, if you could just put your toboggan on, you might look like Zach Brown. I'm like, man, I hear that all the time too. They said, well, sing. And I'm like, no, I'm not singing.
Well, I come from a musical family, and I'm just I'm waiting.
I love it. Thank you, Connie. No, and I want to say too, thank you to the listeners. And you said earlier, the first 5, a 60-minute free coaching call. And just to preface that a little bit more, I'm looking to talk with people in any way, shape, or form I can walk alongside you and help or assist. Looking forward to doing that. So thank you for that opportunity as well. Thank you, Connie. Love it. Remember, the first 5 people are going to get that free coaching from Evans Duren, and maybe he'll kick in a little country music for you. Just maybe.
But make sure that you like it and share us, because we have those giveaways for you, and we'll make sure that you get his as well. But go over to his website. Just look for Evans Duren. He's everywhere on social, so you're going to find him out there. So Evans, again, thank you for being here for today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, that's all we have for today. And I'm Connie Pheiff. Myself a recovering CEO. And we here will continue moving ideas forward and keeping the passion of life activated. And be sure that you're living with purpose. So check out our feature advertising. It's all at ConniePheiffShow.com for advertising details. And if you haven't checked us out yet, check out our Talent Concierge agency. We have the best marketing and branding and publicist team around. Yes, I brag, I know, but I just love my team. And we work with people who have a successful career and finding themselves at a crossroad and looking to scale and become a lifestyle business owner, entrepreneur. And we're helping those that want to become speakers, authors, and sometimes podcasters too as well. We do that as well. But give us a call, 570-906-4395 for your free consultation. And just like Evans, we're not selling anything. We want to talk to you. We want to know what you're looking to do, what's your vision, what's your goals, what's your plans. And if we can help you make that happen, we would love to do that. And you could check out and get more information on that as well at talentconcierge.co. We are unstoppable together. And I'll leave you with this simple yet powerful thought. And that is to breathe. Just breathe. And it'll all come together for you. You're listening to The Connie Pheiff Show. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to like us, share us, and let your friends know, your colleagues know, and subscribe with us on iTunes. Until next time, activate your power and keep the passion of life activated. Hey y'all, it's Connie Pheiff. Thank you for listening to The Connie Pheiff Show. Check back often. You don't want to miss any of the good stuff. If you like what you hear and would like to be a guest on the show, head over to theconniepfeifshow.com to apply. While you're there, check out our amazing advertising opportunities that will put you right in front of your perfect client. I will see you over there. Do yourself a favor this week. Activate your power and be unstoppable together.